Hi there guys, Tom Quayle here. Hope everybody's doing very well indeed out there. So today I'm checking out a brand new pedal from my wonderful friends at Wampler. This is their Pantheon Deluxe, brand new today. This is part of their 2-channel drive lineup, so you can see it's got the 2 channels on there. Fantastic feature set here. Now, of course, up front I should say, I am, of course, a Wampler signature artist with my dual fusion pedal. So I'm completely biased. This is definitely a demo, not a review, although I will give you my thoughts on this pedal at the end. But think of it as a tone demo where you're going to hear some of the different sounds that you can get out of this pedal and hear about the feature sets, okay? So take that as you will. Now, as ever, if you do like this kind of content, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons below. And of course, if you want to be notified when I upload new content, make sure you hit the bell notification icon as well. Okay, so without further ado, let's check out some of the sounds from this fantastic pedal from the guys at Wampler. So here it is. This is the Pantheon Deluxe, and it should be a very familiar design to anybody who's checked out the Andy Wood gearbox on my dual fusion pedal, or the Paisley Deluxe, for instance. It's got that standard 2-channel layout that Wampler have used with separate ins and outs for each side. Now, the way I've got this set up at the moment is channel 1 and channel 2. I'm going into channel 1 and out of channel 2, and that's the standard setup you would use. If you're using this with something like a Gig Rig G3 or G2, or if you're using a Boss ES8, say, switching system, any of those, you can actually run these as completely separate pedals by using the individual in and out for each channel, which gives you a little bit more flexibility on your switching system. However, unlike the original dual fusion, what Wampler have done is they've allowed you to go into 1 and then out of 2, and then just use this switch here to change the switching order internally. So you don't need to recable anything, which is really cool, very, very convenient. So that's really, really nice. Now, channel 1 and channel 2 share the same control layout. So we've got volume, gain, bass and treble. Same on the other side on channel 1. And then we've got a master presence control. Now what Brian recommends, and this is kind of standard across the board with this kind of overarching control here, a little bit like on the Euphoria when you've got the treble control, you should start with this all the way down, and then depending on which amp you're using, you should roll in as much as you need. Now on my amp I'm using today, I'm using the Marshall Silver Jubilee, not the original reissue, running through the aux box with a 4x12 cab simulation, tiny bit of delay and reverb. I've got this almost rolled all the way off. I don't really need much presence at all. It's quite a bright guitar that I'm using as well. So layout and control wise, it's very straightforward indeed. The addition that you've got here is the switching that's going on the side here for the gain structure and the voicing. So both channels have these switches on the sides. They're very easy to use, textured grips on them. And in the lowest position for the gain, you've got the lowest gain, then the medium gain, and then the high gain. And boy, oh boy, is there a ton of gain available on this pedal. It's absolutely ripping when it comes to the amount of gain, especially when you start stacking these things together. So, you know, be careful with the amount of gain that you're using here. It's insane. So once you've done that on both channels, you've set your gain structure where you want it. You've got the voicing switch. Now this essentially gives you a feel and voicing difference depending on where you set it. So in the lowest position, it's going to give you only soft clipping. Okay, in the middle position, it's going to give you soft and hard clipping together, which is more like what you would find with the original King of Tone, which obviously, or you know, this pedal is based upon. Then in the upward position, you're just getting hard clipping. That definitely changes the feel of the pedal as well, the way it responds to what you're playing and how it feels to play, how sort of saggy it feels to play. Not the correct word, but you know, something you guys might be familiar with. Now, both sides, they're slightly differently voiced. So the original kind of King of Tone vibe or Pantheon vibe is stored here in this channel 2. Channel 1 sounds a little bit more like a blues breaker. So the first thing I'm going to do is let you hear the difference between those. Just before we do, though, let me also mention that just down here, you will also find 2 MIDI TRS jacks. Now, these are those little mini jacks that Wampler have been using for a while now. They're super convenient because they don't take up a lot of space on your pedal, and then therefore they don't take up a lot of space on the board. What this allows you to do is to store presets. Now you have to be a little bit careful here what I mean by presets. The preset is the on-off state of channel 1 and channel 2. So you can use MIDI CC controllers. Don't worry if you don't know what they are. For anybody in the know, you'll know why MIDI CC controllers are useful, to allow you to save and recall the state on-off state of channel 1 and channel 2, which is really, really useful. Now you can achieve the same thing using something like the GigRig G3 or using the ES8, but if you've got a simpler MIDI switching system, that could be really useful in terms of switching those on and off without having to go anywhere near the pedal if you're using it in this configuration and not a separate pedal. So that's really, really nice. You've also got MIDI through on there as well for sending that MIDI signal through to other pedals if you're doing daisy chaining. So really, really nice, very nice feature set. Really well built, and of course the final thing to say is obviously it does take 9 volts to 18 volts. So if you want to run it with more headroom, you can do. I'm just in 9-volt mode using a standard kind of Boss style power supply out the wall. Okay, so my clean tone, all right. On this guitar, my Ibanez TQM1, this has got slightly different pickups in. They're slightly higher output pickups than the originals. Through the Marshall Silver Jubilee, I'm on the clean channel. The gain is high on the amp, and we've got this. So it is clean. Roll down to the bridge pickup and it starts to. So let's check out channel 1 and then channel 2, and they are set exactly the same. Let me just check that here. So the middle position on each switch, I can't see that one, so I'm just checking that one, and the same thing here. And you can see the controls are set pretty much the same on both to within, you know, margin of error kind of territory. So here is channel 1, again clean tone. And then channel 1. So they do sound different, definitely sound different. So we'll stick with, for the moment, channel 2. And the reason I'm sticking with channel 2 is because I can see the switches here and I want to show you those as well. So let's play with the EQ controls. Great sounding pedal. It sounds fantastic straight off the bat. So the controls are pretty in-depth in terms of the sweep that you've got for the EQ. So, very, very nice indeed. And then again, the range of gain that you've got available here, again in the middle position, is fairly amazing as well. So, gain all the way up. Bring the gain down, again middle position on the toggle switch here for the gain structure. Very, very cool. It feels great to play. Again, so the clipping side here is in the middle position, so the feel is both hard and soft. Let's check that out next before we change the gain structure. So let's have the gain up. Just channel 2 again. Now, switch in the downward position. Hopefully you can hear this. It's a little bit of a feel thing as well. sure you can hear that. Again, in the middle position. Whoops. And the upward position with just hard clipping. Okay, downward position one more time. And then all the way up. Sorry about the pedal wobbling around. So a nice difference there, relatively subtle, but it's going to allow you to shape things for exactly the feel and the tone that you want, and it's good to have that functionality for different amplifiers. Everything sounds great for the Silver Jubilee with this pedal. Sounds wonderful. So let's change the gain structure. So we'll go down to the lowest gain setting here, and now we've got this. Okay, middle position, all on the bridge pickup. And the upward position, so the most gain. So on a single channel, masses of tonal flexibility available. Let's go down to the lowest position here, and what I'm going to do now is go into channel 1. I've got 1 going into 2, so let's set up channel 1 for a sound. I'm going to get the gain down on the lowest position here and the voicing switch in the middle, which it already is. Now again, this sounds a little bit similar, but there's just a little bit of kind of voicing difference between the two channels to explore. Let me just bring the presence up about halfway here so you can hear the effect that had. So if you're into a brighter, kind of more open sound, I quite like this. I did on the original Pantheon, quite like the darker nature of it. I think it sounds great, really, really nice. Now, I'm going to set channel 1 up with a relatively low gain sound that I'm then going to push into channel 2 as a boost, which is kind of the standard way you would set things up with a stackable pedal like this. Otherwise, you'll just have too much gain, especially through the Silver Jubilee. So, bring the gain down a little bit more and the volume up. Okay, so I'm going to bring some of the bass out and bring the treble up. Now, into channel 2. So here is channel 2. We'll put it on, again, the lower gain setting. And now let's bring channel 1 into the equation. we switch the order, proper classic, very, very cool rock sounds going on here. So very, very, very nice pedal. A ton of tonal flexibility here thanks to the two different switches on here, which really elevates this into a different class basically compared to the original Pantheon, which I loved, by the way. Thought it was fantastic. So this really does give you pretty much everything you would need out of your drive pedals. You've got the lower gain sounds at the lower end of the spectrum, set one channel up that way, have the other one as your high gain for like a 3-channel setup, pedal off for cleans, low gain with channel 1, say, for instance, and then high gain lead sounds with channel 2. And you've even got a 4th channel when you stack them together if you want super searing kind of saturated lead tones. Just killer. It's really, really great. And of course it sounds wonderful because of the Wampler name on there. It's, you know, it's a wonderful sounding, well-built pedal. So definitely worth checking out, guys. I hope you've enjoyed some of these sounds. I have really enjoyed playing through this pedal. I think it's, you know, a really, really nice addition to the range. And yeah, if you like this pedal and want to check out more information, click the link in the description below. That will take you across to Wampler's website where you can check out the full details of this, either buy direct or of course get it from your local dealer. And if you like what I do on my YouTube channel, of course, there's links down below for all of my lesson content if you want to support me. Also for my app Solo that you can check out if you want to learn how to visualize the fretboard in a more effective manner. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. My name's Tom Quayle. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.